You're watching the Wellness Hour, news that makes you healthier. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, freezing fat cells with CoolSculpting. Many people are avoiding liposuction and using CoolSculpting to get rid of their unwanted fat on their body. Well, with us, we have an expert on the topic. She's well known in the desert, Dr. Doriana Cosgrove. Dr. Cosgrove, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Randy. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on your show.
All right, great. So before we get into today's topic, because you do more than CoolSculpting, who's a typical patient that you see and what are the different services you offer?
So we have men and women, all different ages. There are patients that want to improve the way they look and remove signs of aging and sun damage.
Okay.
We live in Southern California. We all have sinned with the sun. And we have Botox and fillers, all different laser procedures, laser resurfacing, fractional laser,
Okay.
CoolSculpting, and we have estheticians on the team. We do chemical peels and all kinds of medical facials.
Now, we talked on the telephone, and going into this, I told you, I said, I'm very skeptical on CoolSculpting. And, I didn't believe really it works. And then I saw some of the before and afters, spoke to some patients. Like I said, it actually works. And at the end of our 1 hour conversation, I told everybody in the studio, I said, I got to get over there, see Dr. Cosgrove. I'm doing it. So I'm gonna be in your place next week. So.
Well, you'll be more than welcome. Especially now, it's a good time to come to the desert.
Now, I guess there's two types of ways, aside from traditional liposuction, to kill these fat cells. There's a heating element, and then there's the CoolSculpting. You used to use the heating kind, and you switched over. So tell me about that.
So in 2010, both CoolSculpt and the TrueSculpt, they both kind of came on the market about the same time. And I went towards the heat treatment, TrueSculpt, and last year, after the new revolutionary changes in the handpieces and more handpieces being added to the machine, I purchased the machine in July of 2017. And the results are incredible. I'm very happy, and not only me being happy, patients are very happy. They keep coming back for different areas, and the results that we have are amazing.
Now, I know you brought a lot of photos, but what are the most common areas that you use CoolSculpting on?
So patients come in, two most common areas are the chin, the fullness the patients have around the neck,
okay,
and also losing the youthful jawline. And the second one is the little pooch on the belly that a lot of us have, especially after having 2-3 children.
Yeah.
Have the little pooch that it's stubborn to exercise and diet, it's still there, and now we have the CoolSculpt, and you can do that.
So with the neck, because you say this has not always been this way. In fact, you said last week, as of today's date, last week, FDA just cleared the full neck. Tell me about that.
So it's really great news. Until about a week and a half ago, all that we were able to treat was the submental fat,
right
kind
here.
of the chin fat, kind of double chin. Don't put your face down when you talk. Always kind of look up so it looks good. Now you can put your chin down when you talk because there's no fat in there. And a week and a half ago, the FDA cleared it that we can treat the whole neck area, do the CoolSculpt, which is really, really nice because now you can totally restore that youthful look and a nice, clear jawline. Because usually when you talk with people, a lot of them, they look at you straightforward, but usually you also get a 45, 90-degree angle, and that's when you see kind of the loss of the jawline, the loss of definition. So now it's nice that with the CoolSculpt, you can remove the fullness, and also secondary benefits, the fact that the skin tightens with the treatment. So you remove the fat, you don't have like a lot of sagging skin. And so it's pretty nice to be able to restore that.
So with the neck, you just put like the applicator on the neck, it freezes the fat cells die, and those fat cells don't come back. Is that kind of how it works?
Correct.
Okay.
So basically, we put the applicator, this is a sample of the applicator. put that under the
just right
chin,
here.
kind of do it. If we want to treat the full neck, then we'll take about 3 of those little applicators around the neck. And yes, there's absolutely no downtime. You can have the treatment done in the morning and go to a nice dinner or nice party, and nobody will know you had it done.
So this is one of your most popular procedures? Is that neck,
Yes.
the chin? They call it the chin or the neck?
So it depends, because some patients just have a little bit in the front. If they have the fullness all around, or we want to restore their jawline, then we just go all around and kind of do the treatment around the neck.
You were explaining to me that the neck is the first place it seems to show age.
Correct.
You know, that little neck, like you go to a party, people see you from the side view, and you see that neck. This is one of those that you could just, like 1 or 2 treatments, and that's it, like 2 45-minute treatments, you could pretty much wipe out that area?
Pretty much, especially for men. For example, if you somebody that would have a bigger neck, if you were
Have a bigger neck?
if you would have, kind of when you wear a button-up shirt, it shows.
Okay.
But if you do the CoolSculpt, everything kind of tightens and it looks really good and smooth and kind of very youthful. Second most popular area is the abdomen. Okay. And basically the typical patient, mid-40s, 50s, a lot of them, they go exercise a lot, but there's that little one pooch that they cannot get rid of. Or the typical other patients that had children, and again, after pregnancy, kind of lose the weight and go to the gym, but again, that little stubborn area that you cannot get rid of. And maybe you don't see it a lot, but if you want to wear a form-fitting, tighter dress,
like the little black dress.
A little black dress, go to a nice cocktail party, you see that little pooch profile. So
you can flatten that right out.
You can totally flatten that right out. The fat cells are gone. And recently, actually, they came out with a 10-year study. Patients that had their fat removed 10 years ago, it's still gone. And they're working now on the 15-year studies.
Good. So it doesn't kill all the fat cells, but it kills a certain amount of fat cells. They're frozen, then the body eliminates them through the body.
Yes.
And then they could come back and get another treatment. I mean, you could technically kind of keep going with this, right?
Well, you don't have to do the same area, and that's kind of, once you treat that area, the patients have long-lasting results.
Okay.
So you do 2 sessions for each area and kind of do it. What it happens when they see how good one area look, then they start to notice in the mirror different areas, and that's how they come
so
back
they do
and they
the
keep
neck,
adding.
and then they say, what can you do for my abdomen? So who's doing this more, men or women?
Very high incidence of women kind of doing it. Women do it a lot, and more men are coming to do it. And I have a lot of patients that are brought in by their wives, or their wives come in, they do the treatment, they start to see the results, and the men jump out of the wagon and they come in and they have it done also.
So the men are mostly getting what? Like love handles, abdomen? Is that the most common area for them?
So a lot of men start with the neck,
chin,
and then the love handles. And also when we do the treatment, you have to be very careful on how you do the treatment, because a woman's body has more of the hourglass, the man's body is more a trapeze. So you want to kind of make sure that you have, you pay attention to details.
So what about arms? How well do they treat with CoolSculpting?
Arms are great. I live in the desert, so the temperatures can reach all the way up into the 120s during the summer. So everybody's wearing the tank tops, bathing suits by the pool. So that's like one area that is showing, and really good results with the CoolSculpt, and also we get some skin tightening. And before CoolSculpt, pretty much the only alternative was surgery, And with surgery, there's a huge scar all the way to the elbow, and you cannot cover that. So with CoolSculpt, it's non-invasive. There's no downtime and minimal downtime, a little bit of redness and minimal swelling, and the results are great.
Because some people,
patients are very happy.
I guess some people just genetically, they look pretty fit everywhere else. They just have fatty arms. Like born, what is it? Like they're just born with more fat cells in that area? And then you can kill those fat cells with the CoolSculpting.
So we kill the fat cells with the CoolSculpting. They get the skin tightening with it. And you never know. It can be a genetic. I have many patients like, yeah, my mom had it, my dad had it. And we treat it and they love it. And I had a patient and she's very happy to do it. She's been in the fashion design industry in the desert. And basically she was saying that Coco Chanel back in the 50s and 60s came out with the little tank tops, but they were meant to be worn underneath because a woman was not supposed to show their arms.
Okay.
But now everybody's wearing the tank tops, and it would be kind of silly to wear long sleeves in the desert. So I had another patient, and she came in, we did her arm treatments, and then she started to go back in the gym and kind of start to even tone her muscles more and kind of show her arms more. She used to wear kind of 3/4 sleeves kind of to cover that area. So it's really nice with the CoolSculpt because it's now the patients are back in the stores and they have to buy a new wardrobe and kind of modify their wardrobe. And
so CoolSculpting is very expensive then, because you got to buy new clothes and plan trips to Cabo and get a pool.
All the bathing suits and all the. So yes, a lot of patients, and I have stories, they come dressed kind of frumpy at first, and once we're done with the treatments and they start to see the results.
They're showing off their arms all over town.
Sure, are tank tops and bathing suits, so little sundresses, so it's really fun.
So do you think that in sometime in the future that there'll be less liposuction and maybe CoolSculpting will take over as a way to eliminate fat?
Well, especially for somebody that's very active, and they have the social activities at work. When you do the liposuction, you have the downtime. You have the general anesthesia. When you have CoolSculpt as an alternative, you have no downtime. You can do the treatment in the morning, go to dinner at night, go to a party, go to the theater,
so
go
no
to work
downtime
the
at all.
next day.
What about swelling and all those things?
With the new machine that was released in 2017 and the new applicators, because now we have 5 different applicators for all the areas, where before there were only few. With all the new applicators, there's increased comfort, decreased amount of swelling and bruising and tenderness after that. So almost, I would say, too good to be true. It is. It is really good.
I read an article that said that they interviewed men over 40, and they said, "Have you ever thought of getting liposuction?" And they said like 95% of people have considered liposuction but wouldn't do it because of the surgery. So this is that option. But I guess the challenge is they just don't believe it works. I mean, do you think that more people would do it if they just believed it?
Well,
What's your take?
I think that with previous machines until last year, the hand pieces were totally different.
On the CoolSculpting?
On the CoolSculpting.
Okay.
And they were a lot deeper. They had side plates that were treating the area. And there were variables with temperature and time with the vacuum applied. Okay. And now pretty much all the manufacturer took out all those variables. So in the past, I still have patients that had the CoolSculpt done 4 or 5 years ago. It's like, I don't know if it works. And I explained to them the new technology, kind of the machine, how it works. They do it and they're extremely happy because they see the results.
Now, a lot of people have had liposuction in the past. You say they get a little bit of lumps and bumps sometimes. You have a flat applicator that you can just lay on their abdomen, flatten out the stomach. And I know you have a photo we'll show in a little while, but that shows that. So we have the applicator right here. So this right here, I guess if we could show this just lays flat on their abdomen, and it's just, it must hurt. It's freezing, right? Does it hurt?
So you feel it initially,
Yeah.
but the freezing is actually numbing.
Okay.
So when I do injections, I always give patients a lot of ice to numb the area. So after about a couple of minutes that you have this on, you don't feel much at all anymore because the area is numb. So, no.
Show me that. You have a photo there of somebody with a lot of lumps after liposuction. And they're just in the early stages of treatment. And it looks pretty good.
So I have this patient. She's
Wow.
78 years old. This patient has been in my practice for the last 6 years and kind of doing the Botox and fillers and laser. And as soon as she heard that I got the CoolSculpt, she asked me, do you think you can do anything about my tummy? I had liposuction done a few years ago. Some lumps and bumps kind of left behind. And she had 2 treatments. She came in twice, the office, we did the treatments, and she was extremely happy.
And this is like a late 70s abdomen.
78.
Yeah, big difference. Big difference. So you can imagine now the younger patients, I guess, will treat even better, right?
Yes.
Is that true?
Because also younger patients, the skin kind of retracts a lot better. We produce kind of more collagen. So with her also, you can notice that after the treatment, the skin actually looked tighter and kind of it's flatter, tighter. She was very happy.
Okay, so as I look at this before and after photo, so if she can go in for another treatment, a third or a fourth treatment, and it's just gonna kill more of those fat cells, and she'll get a more smooth look, right?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. So she can come back. She left for the summer, kind of part of the snowbird group. And when she's coming back, we can reevaluate, and if she wants to kind of fine us a little bit more and do a little bit more definition, you can definitely use the flat applicator, and we can kind of do it more.
So what other areas?
So kind of going back to the tummy, this patient, she's in her mid-50s, 3 children, and quite fit, exercises, good diet, doesn't eat bread, pasta.
Okay.
And, but she had the little pooch she wasn't happy with. And actually she went to see a plastic surgeon, said she's not a good candidate because she didn't have
Candidate for liposuction.
For liposuction.
Okay.
And because she didn't have enough fat. So kind of the idea with CoolSculpt, can you pinch it? Yes, you can treat it. So we were able to pinch kind of the area on the abdomen, and she had 2 sessions, 2 visits in the office, and she looked 100% better.
Wow, I mean that's a nice result.
It's a very nice result, and she was happy and kind of starting to feel more confident, and that's kind of, I had one of the patients say, I'm looking in the mirror in the morning. If I like what I see, I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to make everybody else around me feel happy. So we look at ourselves, and if we're happy with what we see, then everybody's feeling better.
So this woman, just 2 treatments, and she could get this kind of result?
2 treatments, 2 months apart, and she got this result, and no downtime, and was able to resume her normal activities.
And those fat cells are gone. I keep bringing that up again, but they're...
Well, as a sidebar,
Yeah.
actually this patient gained about 6 pounds between the treatments.
In this photo, okay.
But you cannot see that because those fat cells are gone.
She still looks good.
She still looks good.
Good.
This is another patient that actually, it's a pretty nice story about. She's 51, and kids are gone off to college, and now started to pay attention to herself. And we started with Botox and some fillers, and then the CoolSculpt. First time she came into the office, hair was pulled in a ponytail, kind of sweatpants, loose top, because she didn't feel good of the way she looked. And we did the CoolSculpt. She came back in the office about 4 months later. I could barely recognize her. Hair was done. She was wearing a nice dress, heels. We got in the room, hugged, and she was almost into tears. Almost made me kind of shed a tear too. That basically she's so grateful. She feels really good, and she's very happy with the way she looks.
And this is just the beginning. I mean, if she wants to continue the fat loss, she could not only, with diet and nutrition, she could do more CoolSculpting procedures. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, she just came in the office about 3 weeks ago, and we treated the bra fat. So
Nice.
you can always.
So it works on the
add,
back,
like,
that bra fat.
Yes, it can work, and it's really nice. And also, this is the same patient. Those are side view pictures, and those are back pictures. And you can see kind of dresses and everything fits a lot better. And
So that's the same patient, that before and after.
same patient.
Interesting.
And
CoolSculpting.
It's really fun. So besides kind of looking better when she looks at herself, when she gets a nice dress, she looks great and she feels great.
Okay.
And that kind of showed the last visit when she came to the office. And she was all dressed up and dolled up.
Looking good, okay.
So here's another one. Patient is 51 years old.
All right.
Goes to the gym. She does the boot camp about 3 or 4 times a week, and there are the little stubborn areas in the back of her thighs, the little banana rolls. And we treated those with our friend, the flat handpiece, and she has very good results.
It's smoothed out.
It smoothed out, remarkable difference, especially she loves to wear jeans. And when she puts kind of the tight fitting pants on, you can see it falls better and looks a lot better. And now she's coming back and we're treating the side of her thighs and the inside. So basically, you can start big with the treatment. That's kind of the fun part with it. You can start with one area, you can start with 10 areas. And the sky is the limit. But you can do one area, come back, do another area. So it's really, really fun.
Okay, good.
You can customize it to each patient.
Now, I don't want to rush you, but we have time for a couple more photos.
And this is patient. We treated her chin area. And again, she has a really nice jawline, and the skin is tighter. So her whole face looks a lot more youthful, and she's happy.
So what areas haven't we talked about?
Well, inside and outside of the thighs, the upper thigh, and especially the outside of the thigh. Sometimes it's difficult with liposuction, not for CoolSculpt.
Okay.
So you can treat the outside of the thigh, you can treat the inside.
Like that little saddlebag area?
The little
Just
saddlebag
melt it
that
away.
when you put a little tight fitting skirt or a dress or pants, jeans, you can melt that away. It kind of gives a really nice shape, and pick it up and make it look a lot smoother. And again, no downtime. So inside of the thighs, and in the book, you have a picture of a patient that has fullness on the inside of their thighs. You can go to the gym. That's an area that it's really, really hard to get to. So again, 120 degrees in the summer. When the thighs kind of rub together, it's sweaty and it's uncomfortable. Now we can treat with CoolSculpt. It's a lot nicer, and also it feels better. It looks a lot better, and the patients feel better.
So freezing the fat, that's the new. So who should get this done? Like, who's the ideal candidate?
Anybody that has the little pooch, anybody that has a little bit of extra fat, and they want to avoid general anesthesia or an invasive procedure. If you're busy with your daily life in the desert, they have golf, tennis, hiking, you can do the CoolSculpt and carry on with any activities that you have in plan. So kind of the spread of the CoolSculpt treatments is word of mouth. And
tell each other.
One of patients that we had, he came in for a treatment did an area, very happy with the results, told his wife, the wife came in, she has started the treatments, and even after one treatment, she saw results. So now, about a month ago, they brought in their 3 daughters, and they started to have the treatments
The
done.
final message, we're out of time. Who should get CoolSculpting?
Anybody that is bothered by that little pooch somewhere, arms, bra fat, flanks, love handles, abdomen, inner arm,
the neck, of
thighs,
course.
and the neck. Yes, the most obvious one. The neck. And basically, if they don't want the downtime, if they don't want the general anesthesia, then they're good patient for CoolSculpt.
I spoke to a plastic surgeon in LA, does a lot of CoolSculpting, and I asked him the same question, and he said, Randy, if you're over 40, right, everybody over 40 has a little spot that they can't stand on their body, a little fat area. So he says everybody over 40, and of course the younger people. Do you recommend they get it done younger, like in their late 20s, 30s, like their arms, their chin or neck? I mean, do they get better results if you get them earlier?
Well, if it bothers you, yes. If you do it earlier, you get better results because the skin responds a lot better.
When
Kind
they're
of the
younger.
repair and the collagen. So
how old can you be to do this?
you can be as young as in your 30s if you're bothered by a little bit of fat. The oldest patient that we had, she's 78, and she was bothered by little bumps after liposuction. So it doesn't matter age. What it matters, like, are you bothered by a little area or anything? When you look in the mirror in the morning, is there an area that bothers you? Then you're a good candidate.
So freeze the fat.
Freeze it.
Get the CoolSculpting. I want to thank you for coming on the show. Great stuff. Great to finally meet you after all these years. And we'll have to have you back because I know you do a lot of things at your center. So they could come in, free consultation, get evaluated, and you let them know. Could you pretty much tell them right there, I think you'd be a good candidate, not a good candidate?
Yeah, everybody gets a consultation when they come in, and they're told if they're a good candidate or not, and yes.
And you have a good time there too. You have a sense of humor. We didn't see a lot of the sense of humor on the show, but you're a funny person.
We try.
Do the patients think that you guys have some fun in there?
Oh yeah, we always do.
Okay,
And
good.
always, and that's all about it. It's like you have to have fun.
Now, your skin looks good.
Thank
And
you.
I think I know your age, and you look years younger than age, so you're obviously dipping into all your stuff.
Oh
right?
yes, oh yes. I have to try them all. I have to know kind of the downtimes and kind of what the patients would experience. So I have to try every single procedure that we do.
Okay, good. Thanks for coming on the program. Very
Thank you,
interesting.
Randy.
You've been watching the Wellness Hour, news that makes you healthier. I'm Randy Alvarez. For now, I wish you good health.
Thanks for watching The Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news with your host, Randy Alvarez, the authority on health issues.